morning, fam jam. So it is another edition of Bropinions. We are back. We took a little hiatus. We all needed a little bit of allergy break. I don't know if anybody else is feeling that, but the allergy bug hit us pretty hard. But we're back, and we are 2 weeks out, 2 weeks from the draft. So today we wanted to just jump in and kind of...
No, it is a week from tomorrow, sir.
Oh, God, is it a week? Really?
7 days? A week from tomorrow.
Okay, 8 days. I stand corrected. 1 week from the first round of the draft. I'm very excited. Nikki P down there, John the Stone, very excited. Yep. So, yeah, I mean, the NFL, it's dwindled on news and everything, and basically everybody's talked about Aaron Rodgers the whole time. Finally, we're right here at the draft. Most of everything has kind of been worked out, and teams are pretty sure in the first round where they're going to go. So,
well, that's the thing. Everybody's sure until that first pick gets made, and then you never know. I mean, not that it's the same situation, but I distinctly remember one year in our fantasy league way back. It was the year that I discovered mock drafts, so I did probably like 200 of them. And then we had a guy in our league, the Taco, if you will, who picked Kelvin Benjamin, 101 overall, and all 200 of those mock drafts just got completely thrown out the window. You got the Bears out here, they traded up for Mitch Trubisky, so you never know. You never know what's going to happen to these things. So
Yeah, no, my favorite thing is to, like, every time we get close to draft day is go back and look at some of the old draft analysis and just be like, boy, were they wrong.
Trash. Right.
And
then you got, last year where the Patriots took a kid that was like 430 in most of the draft boards, and they took him in the first round.
Yes. I mean, I remember that one time the Raiders took that one dude who, like, almost died of a heart condition, like, days prior, and I'm like... You're taking him in the first round? Like, good God.
Oh, huge news for anybody that doesn't know. Damar Hamlin was released for full athletic capacity. So he'll be back on the field. Way to go to Damar. Woo. Welcome back.
Yeah, can we just go ahead and give him the Comeback Player of the Year award? Or do we have to actually wait until the end of next year?
No, I'm good. Let's just go ahead and let him have the trophy longer. World could end tomorrow, so give it to him.
Right.
Yeah. So today, we got something special for you guys. We are going to do a first-round mock draft, just the first round, but we're going to go through every NFL team. And before, we spun our famous wheel, and our virtual wheel, I guess. And we're going to take this one at a time. So I'm going to go, and then Drew's going to go, then Nick's going to go, and we're going to alternate. We're going to pick who we think each team would pick in that situation. Does that sound good? Sound good, boys? All right, cool. Are we gonna entertain any trades, or are we gonna do what we got? We can talk about if we think a team will trade down, but we'll go ahead and just make a pick where they're at. So
yeah, I think that's smart. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started with the 101 on the clock. The Carolina Panthers. Now, don't forget, a few weeks ago they traded for this pick from Chicago. Gave up DJ Moore and a assload of picks for
7.
I can't remember exactly. I know it was like it equated to like 2 firsts, 2 seconds, something else, and like DJ Moore basically.
Yeah, it was insane.
If I remember correctly, I could be wrong, but it was a lot. And I remember we talked about how it was a lot. So this is a very important pick for them. And then I remember we laughed at them because the day after, or like not even the day, like hours after that trade, they announced that they would be willing to trade down. So
which makes no sense.
Yeah. So to me, I don't think they're going to trade down. I think they spent the capital on this pick. They have to invest here. I think the clear and obvious solution that everyone has kind of already kind of pegged this one that they're going to take a quarterback, and I think the quarterback they're going to take is Bryce Young. Just from, I would love to see something happen because I'm all for the chaotic draft, but I think this is the chalk 101 pick that I think is going to happen. I think Carolina is going to get their QB for the future, and then the Falcons are going to have a stacked edge rushing defense that gets to face Bryce Young, Baker Mayfield, and Derek Carr 6 times a year. So,
yeah, I think you're probably right. I think Young does go there. I don't know if you guys have been seeing it, but I've been hearing rumblings that C.J. Stroud might fall. Apparently, teams are not as high on him as people had originally thought.
I have heard that. I actually saw a mock draft where someone said the Colts trade down because they want Levis. And in the mock, they had them trading down with the Falcons, and the Falcons trading up to get Stroud. I don't think that will happen. I think it'd be stupid if it did. But yeah, I mean,
I've also heard some rumblings that Atlanta might be interested in trading up for a QB because they did call about the second and third picks. I think Arizona has the third. The Cardinals.
Well,
see, I've heard they're interested in Richardson. If they can't get the trade up, they take Richardson if he's still there at 8.
All right. Well,
yeah, I've heard Richardson, Levis at 8. I've heard them moving up to get Stroud.
And
we'll see on draft day.
This is why all pre-draft analysis is garbage and means nothing. With that being said, let's get back into our pre-draft.
Exactly the same.
Yeah. That being said, let's get back into our pre-draft analysis.
Let's get back to the best mock on planet Earth. This is the best mock.
This is what's going to happen.
This is what's going to happen. Yeah. We are from the future.
Yeah, and with Houston,
we are going to go 32 for 32 today. I guarantee it.
All 32 of these players will be drafted. Yes.
In the exact order that we drafted them. There will be no trades.
So with
the second pick, Drew.
Number 2, I still think CJ Stroud is clear and above one of the best 2. I think he's better of a pick than Young. I
agree.
Get Young's mind and decision making maybe a little bit further than Stroud's, but I just think he's better. And if Panthers go Bryce Young, I think Houston goes CJ Stroud. The rest of the quarterbacks, there's a clear separation between Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, and the rest of the field. And Houston needs a QB bad. They need that franchise guy. They need a guy that they can trust for the next 8-10 years at least, and that's where they're going to go.
Yeah, I agree. Houston needs a QB. I don't think old Giraffe Neck is going to get it done down there. So that was mean. Sorry, I don't think Davis Mills is going to get the job done in Houston. So
look at the end.
Yeah, I was like, are you talking about Mike Glennon? Are you talking about too long neck Mike Glennon?
Too long neck. All right, so Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, first 2 off the board.
Yeah, I think third. I think there's a very good possibility Arizona trades here. They're not a team that needs a quarterback. Kyler Murray's a pretty good player. I'd ride with him if I were them. Even coming off the ACL, he's still super athletic, freaky fast, decent accuracy. So I mean, I'm not going to bend over backwards to draft a QB. I think they really need help on defense. I think if they do decide to pick this, it's either I'm going to choose Will Anderson. But I do legitimately believe Jalen Carter could get drafted here. I know a lot of people want to talk about the fact that, he had a bad pro day. He has this legal stuff, but the tape speaks for itself. The kid is an absolute wrecking ball when he's on the field. He's a monster. So you just can't ignore skills like that. So maybe they do pass on him, but if they do keep this pick, I see them going a guy like Will Anderson. I think would be a solid pick for them.
Yeah, I just want to speak for a moment about Jalen Carter. I was actually watching Good Morning Football this morning, and they had a spot talking about Jalen Carter, and just exactly this what we're talking about. And they brought up something interesting that I had not heard, but apparently, and I don't know if this was a rumor or if it was confirmed, but apparently the GM for Seattle said that if Jalen Carter fell, he was not going to make it past 5. And then Howie Roseman, the GM for the Eagles, also said that if he was at 10, there was no way he was making it past 10. So I don't know if that's a smoke and mirrors type thing from Jalen Carter's representation, or if that's actually factual. I guess we'll find out on draft day. But yeah, I mean, I also see the Cardinals taking Anderson there. I don't see Carter falling much farther than he has already. So.
All right, Johnny, next up, you got the Colts, my friend.
Oh, boy. The Indianapolis Colts at 104. So, we kind of mentioned it before. I wouldn't be surprised if they traded down because I think the guy they want is Will Levis, and that's who I'm going to pick. I think that they know that they can get him later than that because if you look at the teams that are coming up after them, so like you have Seattle at 5, Detroit at 6, neither of them really need a quarterback. You have the Raiders who just signed Jimmy Garoppolo. They could draft a quarterback, and then the Falcons have obviously expressed interest. So I think that if they can confirm with Las Vegas or Atlanta that they're not interested in Levis and they want to make a trade, I think that happens. But I'm going to go ahead and pick Levis because I think Levis is their guy. But I do think they will trade down and get him at 7 or 8 instead of staying at 4.
Honestly, I think my thought process is that the Falcons will trade with the Cardinals. And if Stroud happen to be there at 3, they'll take him. If not, they'll take Anthony Richardson. And that leaves Indy at 4 because they'll get scared about it and then take Levis at 4.
I think if Stroud goes at 2,
I could definitely see that. I mean, I could definitely see that.
I think if Stroud goes at 2, like we have him here, I think they trade with Indianapolis and get Richardson. I think if he's there at 3, I think you're right. They trade with Arizona and get him at 3.
So number 5, one of my favorite teams in the league, Seattle. I'm like you guys. I watched Jalen Carter live the whole time, and even if he's not getting home, it's because he's double or triple teamed. I don't think he'll need to be triple teamed in the NFL, but a double team might be needed at some points, and that will open up your edge guys. So Seattle built on defense. Pete Carroll loves a strong defense, and I think that system works good for Carter. I think they'll know how to handle him and kind of reel it in a little bit. I think the stuff going on in Athens has calmed him down some. But it did weigh in pretty heavy on him on his pro day. So I think with a strong structure of a program in Seattle and Pete Carroll as a head coach, I think it's a perfect fit for Jalen Carter.
Yeah, I mean, not much to add there, but I agree. I think Seattle would actually be a really good fit for him just because I think Pete Carroll, I think we've seen with how the whole Russell Wilson situation played out, I think Pete Carroll is a very underrated coach, and I think he would do well there.
I wholeheartedly agree. Yeah, no, I think that's a good pick. I think I could definitely see them taking him like a project or something like that. You know, just getting him as far away removed from that situation in Athens as humanly possible. Honestly, I think probably would be the best for him. Just get him away from everything, transplant him to Seattle, let him, start grading
all the way the opposite corner of the country.
Literally as far away in the country as you could humanly get, except like Hawaii.
Yeah, I just did that. You can go 2,800 miles. It's crazy.
But yeah, I think that's a good pick. Lions would be next. Lions, I think, are also a candidate I could see trading down if there's a quarterback. Like if Levis is still there, if Richardson is still there, I could definitely see them trading back just with somebody. Detroit's a weird one. I don't know where they go. I think realistically, just trading away Jeff Okudah, off the top of my head, they need corners. So maybe a guy like Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon, absolute stud. Maybe like that Devin Witherspoon kid out of Illinois, really, really high on him. Super good corner. Got great hips, elite instincts, real tough. I could see them going with that kid, or I could see them going with a guy like Christian Gonzalez. If I were them, I'd probably go Gonzalez.
Okay. So Christian Gonzalez at 6 overall. So now we are back around to me at the 7th overall pick from the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are also kind of a mystery to me because, I would say they need a QB, but they did sign Jimmy Garoppolo, so I don't know if it's their biggest need. I think
their biggest need is front office.
Yeah, true. I would argue that besides a QB, they really need line help on like both sides, and their defense is like atrocious. So I think their defense needs a lot of help. I could see. I mean, you kind of just made my argument for me. I think the two best cornerbacks are definitely Christian Gonzalez and then also Devin Witherspoon. So I could totally see if the Lions take one of these guys, then the Raiders take the other. So I think the Raiders actually grab Witherspoon here. And just kind of shore up the back end of their defense because I mean that's where they need the biggest help. Their offense is fine. I mean, with all the weapons that they have, and you have a veteran QB. I mean, granted, it is Jimmy.
Yeah, I mean, if Jimmy G can stay healthy, they've got a solid offense. They just need to bolster the lines. Maybe get him another target or two. I don't see anybody drafting a wide receiver this high, so I do agree they go corner here probably.
I think they go between Gonzalez and Witherspoon, whoever is there. If they get really cute, they could go with Skoronsky, the tackle out of Northwestern.
True.
If they want to go on the offensive side, but I think their defense needs more work than their offense.
I agree.
Nice. I just Vegas is so. They need darn near everything to me, and it's just so ill ran that whoever they get, it's just not going to look good. But they're not going to be led correctly. So
I totally agree.
Yeah, I'm not big on the Raiders. No matter what they do, I love the athletes and everything, but if you're not well led, you're not going to do well, and that's just where I think they are. So with the Falcons.
Yeah, we're making the assumption that they're going to do the logical thing. So watch them take I don't know, Dalton Kincaid,
a puncher,
or something like that.
A puncher in the first round. So
I'd die.
8 with the Falcons. Somehow I get to draft for the Falcons and Seahawks, which is pretty cool.
The Birds.
Honestly, with what they've done in free agency on the defense, I think the Falcons will go on the offensive side of the ball. That bucks a lot of the trend that we're hearing. We hear that the Falcons' first pick will be like a quarterback or something like that. I don't think they go that way with what they've done in free agency. It's very difficult for me to think that they don't want to put another playmaker on the other side of London. But I think with Bijan Robinson right there, it's just so clear-cut to have a young, stable running back. If they didn't go that way, I would say Jackson Smith and Jigba, just to have another playmaker. But with Bijan Robinson there, there's a lot more in the wide receiver pool in this draft than there is in running backs. And Atlanta, with some fresh legs, could really go. So I'm going to go Bijan Robinson for Atlanta there.
Yeah, I will also point out that Tyree Wilson has not been drafted yet. So if he is there at 8 and they pick Bijan, I'm going to be pissed. But I do like Bijan. I do think he's a good pick. If we're going BPA, he's the best player available currently. He's going to feast on that offense. I mean, you saw what Tyler Algier was able to do last year. I mean, it sucks for Tyler having to compete with a guy like Bijan, but hey, iron sharpens iron. So,
well, see, that's why I was saying with Algier right there, they might not go that way, but
it's weird.
They need help in wide receivers. In my opinion, they need help at wideout. Jackson Smith and Jigba is a playmaker. That kid is stupid fast. He's got great hands in his.
You got Quentin Johnson right there too.
Right.
Yeah.
And I will also say the Falcons are a hot candidate. I know a lot of people are talking about them trading up. I feel like they're also in a good position to trade down if need be. Because if we're looking at JSN or we're looking at QJ, I mean, they're probably going to be there later in the first round. So, I mean, we trade with another team, maybe get a second-round pick, still get our guy.
I was going to say, if you could get down to like 22 or 24 and then get another second-rounder out of it and still get Quentin Johnson out of it, let's go.
Disgusting. I mean, that's disgusting.
I mean, I'll even throw in there, too, that right now, and this, granted, this is with mock drafts data, so do with that what you will. But right now, the mock draft data even has Bijan as 27th overall. So, I mean, if they could trade down, get a second-round pick, and still get Bijan later on, then as a Falcons fan, that's money.
Right.
So
I don't. Okay.
All right. Up next at 9.
Let him go.
9 is the Bears, right?
Yeah.
Because they traded out Carolina.
Chicago from Carolina. Yes.
What does Chicago still need? I could see them getting Skoronsky.
Tackle.
This is a good place for Skoronsky. That's who I'm picking. I mean, that's just a no-brainer right there. I mean, obviously, if Tyree Wilson's still there, I don't think he's falling this far. But yeah, no, Skoronsky's a great pick for them. I really think he would bolster that offensive line. You know, you already got Fields at wide receiver help. You've got a plethora of other picks to get him more weapons if you need to. But you can also bolster that offensive line with like one of the best, most legit prospects in this draft. In my opinion, Peter Skoronsky. Dude's a beast. I could definitely see him going to Chicago.
Yeah, agree. Chicago need line help for sure. They need tackle, center. So yeah, I think Skoronsky, if he's on the board, which I think he will be, I think that's the easy pick for them for sure. So at 10 with the Eagles, how the Eagles are picking at 10 from New Orleans. I mean, geez, golly.
It's so unfair.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
The rich get richer.
with the guys available on the board, I think Philly could go one of two ways. I think, I mean, I'm going to pick Tyree Wilson here just because if he falls this far, I mean, that's like the no-brainer pick. I think if he's not there, which I don't think he will be, then I think you're probably looking at, I mean, honestly, if Bijan's there, I could totally see the Eagles taking him for sure. If neither of those guys are there, I mean, like a dark horse pick might be, I can't see. I can't pronounce his first name. I'm sorry, but the D linesman out of Pittsburgh. He's the top guys on the board right now are like Richardson, QJ, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, and then this guy. So I could see that being the case. But I'm going to pick Tyree Wilson here because there's just no way he's falling past the top 10. So.
Yeah, no, I totally agree wholeheartedly.
With the Titans, I think they're going to go offensive line as well. Paris Johnson's there. Ohio State, big name program, big name games, solid coaching. Not the best, but still solid coaching. They ran a offense that was more protection based than run based. So I think the Titans right there will go Paris Johnson.
I want to throw in there that another guy I could totally, and I wholeheartedly agree, they go tackle. They have Paris Johnson. They also have Darnell Wright, who went to Tennessee. So, I mean, I think that would be another name that would be high up on their board probably.
I think next up we got the Texans again.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, we've already got them their quarterback. They're going to need weapons. I mean, outside of Brandon Cooks, who... didn't they trade him? Do they even have him anymore?
Yeah,
they traded him. He's gone. So they'd have nothing.
He's with Dallas now, yeah.
So if Bijan is not there, it's got to be wide receiver at this pick. It has to be. So I'm thinking QJ. I mean, if you're talking your number one guy, size, athleticism, Jackson Smith and Jigba is an amazing receiver. I think he's also going to have an amazing NFL career. I'm going Quentin Johnston here.
Plus you have the Texas connection. So.
Exactly. Texans, TCU, I mean... You're going to sell a lot of jerseys.
The only thing that I would see maybe they'd want to do is have an instant connection, and because C.J. Stroud threw it in Jigba so much.
That's also very valid. That could also happen. Yeah, I think it's one of those two guys. It's definitely one of those two dudes. If they get their QB, it's one of those two wide receivers.
They need a playmaker. They need an outside threat. And either one of those, you've got it.
Maybe even a guy like Jordan Addison. Like they're I just feel wide receiver for them heavy with their second pick. I mean... If you get your QB, go get him some weapons. That's just the smart thing to do.
I would be shocked if with these two picks they have, they don't go QB wide receiver in some order or combination. Yeah. So, all right. So pick number 13 from the Jets. Man, okay. They're not going to have this pick because they're going to lose it in some ridiculous trade for Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers himself is actually going to have this pick. So, no, I think honestly, and I mean this wholeheartedly, if it's not done by now, and I don't know what they're waiting on, I don't know what the situation is. They have been screwed already so much in this free agency period, but by this whole situation, if I'm the Jets and I don't have a deal in place with Aaron Rodgers by draft time, I'm taking a QB if I can get my hands on one. And right now, Anthony Richardson is still on the board, so yeah. I'm taking that if I'm the Jets.
Nice.
I agree. I think that's sound logic. I would totally feel the same way. I mean, dude, we can't wait on you forever. Like, you're going to have to figure it out. And it's like, I know that we've heard, I think it's the Packers that are holding everything up. But it's like, at this point, what are you trying to get?
You know what I think?
What else you want?
I think that Aaron Rodgers is so full vanity that he's waiting for Lamar to get paid and then just make like $1 million more than him, just so he can stay in the spotlight a little bit more. Not overall, because he's not going to play another 8 years, but just my monthly, my contract, my
average annual value.
Then he'll figure out because who just got paid was
Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts just got paid, and then we're looking for Lamar to get paid, and then Rodgers can go like, well, here's the yearly thing. I'm back-to-back MVP. You should pay me $60 million a year or something insane. So I think that's what's holding it up. And I'm like you. If I'm the Jets, I'm like, no, we're good, man. We already suck. We'll just keep sucking for a year or two and then go get our guy. So I'm down with that. And then 14 is me with the Patriots.
Yes.
Patriots historically love Georgia line players. I think they had a lot of problems protecting Mac Jones. So right here, I'm going to say Broderick Jones at an offensive tackle out of Georgia. Dude's massive and 6'5", about 280, quick feet, and is great at protection. So I think that's where he goes. Plus, the Patriots David Andrews is still up there at center, and they pick up Georgia players. I don't know why the Patriots love Georgia players, but they do. So I think Broderick Jones right there at 14 is a solid possibility.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean, they definitely need tackle help, and there's a few guys on the board, but hey, go get your guy. So.
Yeah, I know they need to improve the defense, but if you look at what Atlanta's done, you can try to work that out after the draft and free agency kind of stuff, and then work defensive guys in the second and third rounds.
And there's talk too, actually. I heard, or there's a rumor that, the Patriots have been shopping Mac Jones, so they may be in the quarterback market as well. But At this point in the draft, I just don't see them going that route because I just don't see a guy on the board that, unless they want to, not in the first round, if they want to come second round and grab like
Stetson Bennett
or somebody, Max Duggan, Stetson Bennett, one of those guys and take a chance, then yeah, I mean, absolutely. But here in the first round, I don't think they do.
Yeah,
that.
I just look at it like this of like, it's Belichick, right? You know what you're going to get as far as the draft is concerned. He's not going to trade up. So they're not going to look for a quarterback, I don't think, in this draft. I could see them going tackle. I could also see them going like wide receiver, maybe because it doesn't seem like the market's that hot for Mac Jones. So it's like, you might as well get him some help while he's there. I mean, who has he had to throw it to? He's had a defensive coordinator as an offensive coordinator for 2 years. And not even a good defensive coordinator at that. Let's be real. Matt Patricia is one of the worst coaches to ever coach in the NFL. He had a good stint with the Patriots his first run around, but it ain't been pretty since. And yeah, I don't know. I just don't think Mac Jones is the problem there, but they've got a lot of holes, so there's a lot of people they could pick with that pick. So next up, we do have the Packers. Still, I don't think they have not signed a tight end still, right? I don't think so.
No.
I don't think they've gotten anybody. So I'm thinking I'm going to go Halloween here. Pull out the butcher knives. Michael Myers at a Notre Dame. We're going to take Michael Meyer. Sorry, we're going to take him here with this pick. I think the Packers, they're rolling with Jordan Love. Obviously, I think they're going to go with some sort of skill player. They lost Robert Tonyan to Chicago in free agency. They haven't signed anybody to my knowledge, so I believe that they go tight end here.
Yeah, I did just confirm that the top tight end listed on their depth chart right now is Josiah DeGuara. So yeah.
Who?
All right. So we have the Commanders at pick 16.
The newly acquired team.
Yeah. Good riddance too. Yeah, I honestly have no clue what they're gonna do here. I mean, they have a lot of needs. They definitely need a QB, but like we just saw with the Patriots.
I mean, isn't Levis still on the board? Have we drafted Levis yet?
He was at 4.
Yeah, he went. Okay. Yeah, I took him. I took him with the Colts at 4 because I think that's their guy. But I mean, like they need O-line help, linebacker maybe.
They need corners too.
They do need corners. Yeah. All right. So with who's left on the board, I'm kind of looking at, if I'm to watch them, I'm looking at Joey Porter out of Penn State. Joey Porter Jr., excuse me.
That's who I'd pick.
Or Anton Harrison out of Oklahoma, the tackle. I'm probably going to go Joey Porter here. And that's who I did pick. Another one I might be interested in would be like Brian Branch if I wanted to get really cute with it. But yeah.
All right. Steelers. Man. I think
it starts to get tough in this little middle range, and it's like they need everything, and there's nothing here.
They've got playmakers on the offense. I think they need to go defense. And if I'm looking at defense,
they desperately need offensive line. By the way, Steelers.
Yeah, they need to tackle something fierce.
I think they're still.
So, I mean, top tackles on the board, you have Darnell Wright out of Tennessee, Anton Harrison out of Oklahoma.
Yeah. Probably Wright. If they need a tackle that bad, I was going to look at defense and look at Brian Brees on the defensive tackle. But if Wright's there, they need offensive tackle. That's probably where they go. This is another one that I think you could trade down and, get like 2, maybe 3, maybe 2 in the second, 1 in the third. For this high of a pick, whatever, if somebody's on the board that that another team really, really wants, I could see this trade.
That's a good point because you're in kind of a weird middle round, right? And Jackson Smith and Jigba is still on the board, and there are a lot of wide receiver needy teams that are coming up. So I could totally see a trade happening with one of these picks here. I would agree with that.
But if I had to, probably Darnell Wright right there. They need offensive tackle help that bad. I mean, it's good. Tennessee was on display all year this year because of they had like 11 wins, and Hendon Hooker stayed up in every game except Georgia, and that was pretty much the best defense this year. So if he can hold up that many games, he'll be a solid, diamond in the rough to get going. Plus, he's 6'5" and 330, like the kid's max.
Yeah. All right, next up, got the Lions again. I made their first pick, so I guess I'll make their second one.
Here we go.
Gave up a cornerback. They don't need a corner. I think honestly, if Bijan falls this far, this is a team that absolutely will take a flyer on him. I also think they have an amazing receiving core. It's weird because the Lions are like kind of quarterback needy, but it's like they don't desperately need one, right? So it's like
Jared Goff.
Right. But he had a pretty good season last season. Like you can't say that he had a bad season. He was decent. Like
at home,
you can't be mad at him.
At home,
at Ford Field, he was great.
I mean, there's a lot of holes on that defense, man. I don't think you can blame Goff for everything. But he looked a lot better than he did that last year he was in LA.
Yeah.
It's good to see. I mean, I personally like when the whole Carson Wentz thing. Like, I feel bad for Carson Wentz. Like, it sucks to be at the top of your career and then everything come crashing down and you just become a bum. And it's like it's not his fault. Like, so it's like it is nice to see Jared Goff get a little bit of. So I'm gonna give him his flowers. He deserves it.
All right.
The Rams have ruined too many careers for us to let them slide. What they did to Todd Gurley is so disrespectful. What they did to Jared Goff, so disrespectful. Yeah, Drew, you should be in my camp.
So sad.
Allen Robinson. Man, they are wrecking careers over there.
Right. Sean McVay is a monster. Do not play for the Rams.
Unless you're Cooper Kupp.
But no, Lions, I think they go. If they don't have Bijan's not there. Brian Branch. Fuck it. just throw another player in that secondary. Make that secondary disgusting. Make it disgusting. Christian Gonzalez and Brian Branch. Could you imagine? That's gross. That's gross.
It is. That is gross. All right, I got the Buccaneers at 19. Try to speed things up a little bit here. I think the Buccaneers are going into a rebuild kind of mode. I would say they go tight end, but I think they took one last year, Kate Otten, who I believe is still on the team. They also need line help on both sides. They really need a quarterback.
Yeah.
But again, there's not really one here. I'm going to go D-line, and I'm going to get, I think it's Kalijah Cansey out of Pittsburgh. And yeah, just a piece for that D-line and that they can build around.
All right. So that's Tampa Bay. Back to Seattle. I get to do Seattle's second pick. This is great. And I think, again, we're going to go look at a very defense-minded coach to try to settle down your number 5 pick, give him a little bit of familiarity, plus an insane athletic kid. Nolan Smith will go up there. They'll be able to do it together. You've got a friend. Not only that, they get an insane athlete with great leadership mentality. that will keep Jalen Carter like honed in, and then your defense, especially on the line, because you can move Nolan middle linebacker, you can move him to an outside linebacker, you can move him to an edge. He knows how to play all three positions, and under Pete Carroll, it'll be real good.
That would be gross. If they were able to get both of those players, I would literally vomit. That would be disgusting, dude.
Yeah,
that'd be so gross.
It'd be sick.
Would.
That'd be so gross.
I love Nolan Smith, and if they got Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter, that would be disgusting.
That would be insane, dude.
Pete Carroll, listen to us.
That'd be disgusting. All right, well, next up, I think the Miami Dolphins, but I think they forfeited their pick. Didn't they lose this pick? So
they
pick
did.
21.
Taken away from them. Yeah,
we're going to go to the Los Angeles Chargers. I think this is a team that is right on the cusp of contention. Like Justin Herbert is clearly the guy. He's clearly the dude. Their wide receiving core is good, but it's old. So it's like it's kind of like we really need to get the ball rolling now. I think a big piece that has been missing from this team has been Hunter Henry. Since Hunter Henry has left, that team has lost a lot of production that he brought in. So I think they go Dalton Kincaid here. I think that's a big tight end. They might go after that kid from Georgia, just get a big pass catching tight end, Darnell Washington. I think they definitely go tight end here. If Dalton Kincaid's not available or Michael Myers not available, I think it's one of those two guys. Just get Justin Herbert some more weapons, try to replace that production you had with Hunter Henry, get back into playoff contention, get back into looking to win Super Bowls.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree that they grab a tight end. I think that's a smart move. They have some other holes, but I mean, really, like you said, they need a young piece on the offense that they can really build around that'll help take them to the next level. So I think grabbing one of those tight ends is the right move.
Again, Baltimore, another team, if Bijan is there,
right,
I could see being very interested.
Yeah, and we don't have a lot of time, so we can just gloss over this real quick. But yes, speaking of like potential landing spots for Bijan, have you guys noticed there's like a wave of these kind of veteran running backs? And we said it before, and I'll say it again. If you're going to play football professionally and that's your goal, do not do it as a running back because you get absolutely disrespected. But like Austin Eckler wants a trade. Like has requested a trade. The Vikings are considering cutting Dalvin Cook. The Bengals want Joe Mixon to take a pay cut, and if he doesn't accept, they're going to cut him. So
bro, the best running back in the National Football League is Derrick Henry, and they were talking about trading him this offseason. Yeah. I mean, that is just not a safe position.
No,
you can be the best in the league, and the teams will be like, okay, how do we flip him for picks?
Yeah. Right, 100%. So all that being said, Baltimore here at pick 22. I mean, the whole Lamar situation is still kind of up in the air. I think he does play for Baltimore this year. I mean, if a team was going to grab him, they would have done it by now. There was a rumor they offered him a deal that was like $200 million guaranteed and one that was like less guaranteed but was shorter time or something like that. I don't know what the situation with that is. I think he plays for Baltimore this year. Regardless of who they have at quarterback, they need wide receiver help. So I think with him still being on the board somehow, I think JSN is going to get grabbed up by Baltimore here.
I don't think any of us actually expect Jackson Smith and Jigba to be at 22.
I definitely forgot. I did not know that he had not been drafted.
Yes. Yeah. No, he's still on the board. I did
not know that he was available.
He's still on the board. So I don't expect him to fall this far.
He could go to the Chargers.
He could also go to the Chargers. Yeah. If he does fall that far, he will most definitely be on one of either the Chargers or Baltimore. So.
And piggyback on that with 23 with the Vikings, I think they're going to go QJ. Get another.
I already took QJ.
Oh, really?
Houston at pick 12, yeah.
At 12? Wow.
You got Jalen Hyatt still.
Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison.
Yeah, probably Zay Flowers.
Wide receiver.
I really want Atlanta to get Jalen Hyatt in the second round. God, that would be so awesome. I mean, just imagine, like, Drake London on one side, and then you just send Jalen Hyatt on a fucking go every single time.
He's so quick.
Yep. Slant and go.
The Jaguars.
Yep. Pick 24. The Jaguars.
Is that me?
Yep. PFF has their needs as guard, center, edge, and DB.
Who's available?
Lucas Van Ness, edge out of Iowa. Deonte Banks, quarterback out of Maryland. Brian Brees, D-line out of Clemson. Miles Murphy.
I mean, there's a 0% chance that Luke Van Ness falls this far, so I'm going to go ahead and take him off the board. I mean, Jacksonville, they've got a solid offense. Just make that defense just more better. Just more better. Just make that defense a little bit better. add a real playmaker on the edge. Let that defense get after it.
Make it much more better.
Make it much more better.
All right, the Giants at pick 25. Another team needs wide receiver help, so they could grab Addison here. But I think with all of they need some help on their line. They also need help on defense. So I think I'm actually going to grab Deonte Banks, the cornerback out of Maryland, for the Giants here.
Nice. Cowboys at 26. I think they need a tight end. I think they need a big kind of blocking tight end. And I think this is where Darnell will go because he can catch over the middle. Because the Cowboys offense runs their tight ends on a short kind of route. They're not trying to get them to go deep like Gronk would do or anything like that, and that's what Darnell usually does. But then when he needs to blow people up, 6'8", he's just a wrecking crew. So that's where I see Cowboys going.
I love that fit, but I will be surprised if Darnell goes in the first round, unfortunately.
I agree. I honestly think the Cowboys probably go like Jahmyr Gibbs, somebody like that. I think Jerry likes to make flashy draft moves. I think they'll probably pick like an offensive weapon or somebody like that. Buffalo Bills next. What do they need?
D-line, linebacker, cornerback. Brian Brees from Clemson still out there. Miles Murphy, the edge from Clemson, still out there. Will McDonald.
Well, we'll take Brian Brees. I think, solid linebacker to add to that team. Go ahead and bolster it.
All right. Bengals at pick 28. Let's see. They need tight end, D-line, DB. Oh, not a lot of great tight ends. Sam Laporta is like the best one available right now. D-line, DB. I think I'm going to have the Bengals take Emmanuel Forbes, the cornerback out of Mississippi State.
Wow, that was literally who I was going to say for the Saints. So for the Saints, without Forbes, I think they'll go with a guard, and take Osiris Torrance. Get a little bit more protection for new quarterback down there. Coming out of Florida.
Yep, Philly up next. I'm going to go ahead and just say Jahmyr Gibbs, since he's on the board still. I think a running back would be good for them. I think they're just going to take the best player available at that point. I think it's really dependent on who's there. Jahmyr Gibbs is a beast. He's going to feast in Philly.
And the last one.
And the reigning champs, Kansas City Chiefs. They need wide receiver, D-line. I think they're going to take a shot on the wide receiver here, and I think with this pool of players available, I think they're going to take a shot on Jordan Addison and see what they can do. Kind of pair him with last year's rookie Sky Moore, and they need somebody to make a statement there on wide receiver because Tyreek Hill left a big hole that they filled with Travis Kelce, and it worked. I don't think it will work again. I think they need. Plus they don't have Juju, they don't have Mecole Hardman, so they need wide receiver help. So I think they take a shot on somebody like Jordan Addison.
Yep, I agree.
Or trade for DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah. All right, well there you have it. Let's recap it real quick. Carolina taking Bryce Young, Texans take C.J. Stroud. Cardinals take Will Anderson Jr., Colts take Will Levis, Seahawks take Jalen Carter, Lions take Christian Gonzalez, Raiders take Devin Witherspoon, Falcons take Bijan Robinson, Bears take Peter Skoronski, Eagles take Tyree Wilson, Tennessee takes Paris Johnson Jr., Houston takes Quentin Johnson, Jets take Anthony Richardson, Patriots take Broderick Jones, Packers take Michael Mayer, Washington takes Joey Porter Jr. Then Darnell Wright goes to the Steelers. Brian Branch to the Lions. Kalijah Cansey to the Bucks. Nolan Smith to the Seahawks. Dalton Kincaid to the Chargers. Jackson Smith and Jigba to the Baltimore Ravens. Zay Flowers to the Vikings. Lucas Van Ness to the Jaguars. Deontay Banks to the Giants. Darnell Washington lands in Dallas. Brian Brees to the Bills. Emmanuel Forbes to the Bengals. Osiris Torrance to the Saints. Jahmyr Gibbs to the Eagles. And Jordan Addison to the Chiefs. So there you have it. That's exactly what's going to happen.
How the first round will go.
So you're welcome. You don't have to watch Thursday. That's what's happening.
If it does not happen no need this way, you will never hear from us again.
Yeah.
That's not true. That is a lie. You will hear from us, even though we're probably wrong on every single pick.
Yeah, I mean,
but next week we get to come back and we get to review all of our.
Okay, not next week. All right, we'll set the over/under at 8. We'll say 25% of these. What are you going to take the over or under that we're right on 8
under.
At these?
Under.
I'm going to take the over because I believe.
I think we probably got 4. I mean, it's like, will most of these dudes get drafted in the first round? Yes. Are they going to go to these teams? I don't know.
Yeah, considering
because you also got to think we didn't really draft a lot of O linemen at all. And there's going to be 3 or 4 O linemen that get drafted, and we drafted like 1 or 2.
And even considering that, JSN dropped to 22, and Lucas Van Ness to 24. So.
Not happening. So, all right, there it is, Fan Jam. That is our preview of the first round. Next week, we'll get into round 2 and 3 and see what's kind of going on. It probably won't be a full draft. We'll just hit the big spots where we think the leftover players will go. And keep an eye out. We may be going live Thursday on draft night. Not sure if we're going to do the whole day on Saturday, but we will be live on Thursday. So keep an eye out for that, and we will see you guys next time.
Later.
Are you asking a question?
I don't think we're going to go live on Thursday.
One of us will be live on Thursday, I promise.
Oh, there you go. We can commit to that, yes.
So, all right, Fam Jam, we're out.